What's up, everybody? Jason from Straight Edge Knives, Straight Edge Lights and Gear, and this is another cross-posted video, guys, because this is a multi-tool from ROXON called the Spark, and it kind of fits both categories. It does have a knife and other things on it, but so it works good for knife stuff, but it also works good for EDC stuff. So that's why I kind of cross-post between these two channels when it comes to the multi-tools, anyway. And if you're into lights and EDC gear and stuff like that, and you're watching this on Straight Edge Knives, go check out my Straight Edge Lights and Gear channel. If you like knives and stuff like this, and you're watching my Straight Edge Lights and Gear channel, go check out my Straight Edge Knives channel. Both are cool channels. I think you'll like them both. But guys, let's move on, right? This is the Spark multi-tool from ROXON. Very cool little multi-tool. I feel like this is kind of a little bit geared more towards hikers, backpackers, campers, and stuff like that, with the different tool options that are available on here. So let's get this open and check it out. So you pull that out, you got kind of like a sleeve box, got some info on some of the stuff that's on there. Real quick on here, it does have some of the specs on here. So I will actually hold this off to the side for a second so I can tell you guys what the tool still is. It does have a little instruction manual, so it'll actually tell you guys all the different things that are on here and kind of how to utilize them. So it's pretty simple. We're all instructions. We'll figure it out, right? So let's pop this out. So got a box here. Take it out. You do have a nice nylon carrying case. It actually is kind of molded, so it's got a nice snap to it. So when you take this out, it doesn't collapse on itself. It's not flimsy. It actually has some molding in there, so it'll actually retain its shape, which is nice. It does have the belts loops on there, so you can carry it horizontally or vertically. So that's kind of a nice option. Mount it if you want to carry it in there. If you don't want to carry it like that, you do have a nice pocket clip here as well on the back, so you could strap it on Molly in your backpack or something like that. Got a crow up there. I think he's mad at me or something. I don't know. He's over there. He wants to be in the video too. Seeing is very nicely made. Spec wise, let's see, go on the spec. Closed size, you're looking at 4.21 inches roughly. Open, you're looking at 6.33. It is 8 ounces, and the metal materials in are 2 CR13, 3 CR13. You got an ABS whistle, kind of different little things like that, but it doesn't specify which parts are which metal. So but this does have a nice feel to it. 8 ounces. It's not overly heavy. It's not the lightest thing in the world, but it's not ridiculously heavy. Again, if you're carrying a multi-tool, though, you got to expect there to be a little bit of weight to it. Initial impressions, when you get it out and hold it, it feels nice. It feels good. It feels solid. It doesn't feel like like cheaply made. When you open this up, you do have a nice blade here. I have been playing around with this a little bit just to check it out beforehand. It does come with a nice sharp edge. Very nice blade shape. It's a very utilitarian blade shape. It does have a liner lock that fully engages, so this thing locks in. It's not going to easily close on you. So push that over, put the blade down, and you're ready to check out your other tools. I got something stuck on me. When you get over to the other side here, you open this up. You have an awl, right? You have a bottle opener slash Phillips head kind of screwdriver, and then there is I wouldn't say that's a bottle opener on the back side. The bottle opener is on this next part. You have the bottle opener slash can opener on here. Now, all three of these do lock, so when you open it fully, it locks into place, and to disengage it, you do have this little switch here. Push that up, and it unlocks. So let it go, locks open, push it up, it closes. So all three of these, the screwdriver, everything will lock open, and just press this up, and then bam, you can close them. And then on the other side here, you have a fairly aggressive saw blade that does have a liner lock as well. So you got to open it up and utilize it to make notches, things like that. You can push that over, closes right up. Now you open it up this way, and you have yourself some spring assisted opening pliers. So it's nice. Got the pliers, little jaws, and you do have some wire cutters slash strippers built into there as well. And then the one last thing you have on here is you have your Fire Striker ferro rod with the emergency whistle. So if you're out hiking, camping, you get lost in the woods, you go, come find me. You can blow a whistle, and hopefully somebody hears it and comes and finds you. And then you do have your little fire rod on here. So One of the cool things about this is this is a it's a small piece, right? So if you happen to lose this or use it up or break it or whatever, you can order replacements from this from ROXON, which is nice because a lot of times when you get things like that on tools, you sometimes can't get replacements for them if you lose them or break them. So what's nice is there is a replaceable fire rod whistle that you can buy off of ROXON's website. So so it's very cool. But when this thing closes up, it's a nice closed package. Everything's locked into place pretty tightly, which is very nice. So one thing I do kind of wish this had a little different is this is like it's all black for the most part with the exception of the lettering. For if this is like a camping, hiking type of tool, you know, thing like that, it would have been nice if there was some high vis colors on here somewhere, like some bright orange or something like that, just to, you know, if you drop this in the woods or anything like that, it'd be make it easy for you to find. Or let's say you had to get this out and use it at night and you had a flashlight, some high vis colors on here would have been a nice touch just to help make it easy to use or find if you drop it in the woods or anything like that. Just something to keep note of. Nothing, I mean, it's not a deal breaker by any means, but you could always probably come in with a reflective marker and mark this up if you needed to, if it's that big of a deal to you. But let's get this blade open. I did like it's a nice generous blade shape, right? So let's get this open. We're gonna take this stuff out here. We got some rope here. So we got paracord here, guys. So let's say, you know, you gotta do some cutting. Come in here, cut up paracord easily. Make your ridge line for your emergency shelter. You know, obviously you can come in and cut some paracord. That's not really going to be too big of an issue. Here's some thicker poly rope. Let's say I had to cut some thicker rope. Come in here. Run out of poly rope, guys. Got to buy some more. So kind of cut that up. Easy peasy. Kind of doing some general cutting tests. It's going to work out pretty fine. Cutting rope and things like that. What I wanted to see is, let's say you needed to make some wood shavings, right? Oh, look at this. Been raining over here, guys, so there's a lot of muddy stuff around here, and trying to find a piece of wood that's fairly dry and not completely covered in mud or whatever. So let's say you got to come in here. This does have a fire rod on it, right? Fire rod. So it's called the Spark, and we're going to try to make a fire with it. And so let's say you had to come in here and you wanted to make some nice little long fire curls. Again, with my big old heavy mongoloid hand, I always wind up cutting them off. Yeah, come in here. You know, making some fire curls. They're not the greatest fire curls in the world, but I'm not really that good at it anyway. But if you had to come in here and make some fire curls, you could if you want. Do a little quick shaving, I guess you will. Yeah, you can kind of come in there and make some quick little shaves for sure. So if you had to come in and make some fire curls, things like that, help process some wood down, yeah, you could do it. Let's say you need it to, man, let's say that piece of wood you have is just maybe just a little too big. Now, this is what I would consider, I would not say do this with this knife, okay? I'm going to baton through this little stick right here, okay? Is this thing designed to really be batoning with? Hell no, it's not. So I don't necessarily recommend doing it, but you got lost in the woods. This is what you got on you. You got to make a fire. You got to get some wood broken down a little bit. So we're going to test this. We're going to push it a little bit, okay? And so we're going to take this little branch right here. We're going to put this on top. And one thing I will say, the reason why I'm kind of a little confident in doing this is, if you guys can see in there, that liner lock is fully pressed over. So I feel like there is a definite solid engagement of the locking mechanism on here that would make this okay to try this, okay? But again, is this something that I recommend you do with your knife? No. But we're going to do a little bit of light batoning. Oh yeah, see, look. Baton through that. Pretty simple. Nothing crazy. I wasn't going crazy. I wasn't trying to, you know, baton a giant log. So break that down a little bit. Help you get your fire going. Yeah, so put a little pressure on that edge. So if you had to come in and do some kind of little bit of light batoning, let's check this out. That lock bar didn't move. The blade still feels pretty solid left and right and front and back. Opens and closes okay. So, hey, not bad, guys. So you had to do a little bit of light batoning. Yeah, you could get away with a little bit. Come in here and make some more. Sorry about that crow, guys. Nothing I can do about it, but look at you guys, see those pieces flying off there. Yeah, you can come in and hog some material off for sure. Yeah, this blade's working pretty good, guys. So can it handle a little bit of heavier use? Yeah, it can. Let's definitely test a little bit heavier here. So here we got this little stick right here. We're gonna put this down and we're gonna do a little bit of batoning right cross section on this. Definitely a little bit harder on the blade. Boom, cut right off. Cut that chunk right off. Yeah, held up good. That edge is still there. I mean, it's still there. It didn't chip or roll that edge, so nice. Side to side, front to back, it's still solid. That lock bar looks fully engaged still. Opens and closes fine. So, hey, a little bit of pounding on it. It took it, not bad. Let's check out this saw blade. So let's open this up. Got a hardened wood dowel here. This is a, what is this, a 3/4 inch, 1 inch round wood dowel, hardened wood. Let's put this on here and let's cut a notch in here. Oh, guys, that's a pretty good saw blade, man. That was actually cutting through that fairly easily, with minimal effort. Yeah. Shit, yeah, that's good. Check that out, guys. Pardon the language there. Didn't mean to let that one slip, but hey, that's a good little saw right there. Sometimes I get the saws on these, and I've had to like work them a lot harder than that to get them to cut through. That actually is cutting through pretty easily. So I had to cut this piece off, and for whatever reason, problem is trying to hold this thing while you do this. There we go. Make that good notch there. So yeah, you can come in there, do some sawing, make a notch. You definitely could. Let's say you needed to make a tent stake real quick, guys. Like the storm's coming. You're like, man, I gotta hurry up and make a tent stake, make for my ridge line and things like that. So let's open up this blade again real quick. This is a pretty thick little stout piece of wood. We're gonna hog some of this material off. Try to get down in there. Got a little knot right there. So I'm gonna do a little bit of chopping, guys, because there's a little knot right there that doesn't want to come off. There we go. Get that guy off. Come in here. Hog all this stuff off so we can make ourselves a vampire tent stake. Again, doing this is actually, you know, we're putting this knife to a little bit of, putting it to some use, guys, putting it to a little bit of a hard test, hogging off that material, you know, definitely checking it out. And when I'm doing this, I'm actually putting a lot of pressure on that lock bar as well, putting a lot of stress on that edge. I wouldn't say that this knife is definitely not designed to be used in this manner, but I like doing this stuff for you guys because we want to make sure that if you're going to buy this tool and take it out and use it, it's going to be able to hold up to some of the rigors that you might put it through, right? So get this down to a nice little somewhat of a point so you can drive it into the ground. Bam, right there. And now we need to make a notch for our paracord to wrap around. So let's close that up. Again, it's closing nice and easy even after doing all those little chops. We'll open our saw blade back up, and we will come in here, and we're going to do a kind of an angled notch. Bam. So now we got this kind of angle notch. So when you tie your cord around it, it's going to hook on and it's going to stay in place. So there you go. So you can make a tent stake. Absolutely. Knock some of the sawdust off. And saw stayed locked into place and everything good there. So let's open this up real quick. I want to, got these little wire cutters. Now this isn't wire, guys, obviously, but we're going to, bam, cut that little chunk off right there. Cut another little chunk off. So the wire cutters cut the wood. Obviously they'll probably cut wire too. So sorry I don't have a piece of wire to cut, but, and again, they're pliers so you can hold, do whatever you got to do. Very nicely done. So what we're going to do now is, obviously a lot of the tools on here are going to work just fine. What we're going to do now though is we're going to bust out the little ferro rod, and then we're going to open up the saw blade, because in the instructions it's showing to use the saw blade as your fire striker. It actually has pretty much almost a 90-degree edge on the back there. So typically what you do is you would go collect your fire tinder bundle, whatever it is you're going to use. I have a bunch of different, got a bunch of little sawdust here, but it's kind of all green, so it might not be the best stuff. So I am going to utilize a little bit of fire starting material that I already have. This is that Blackbeard fire starter stuff. You guys ever seen this stuff? It's like this crazy string that's impregnated with something, and this stuff is pretty cool because it's waterproof. You could actually dip that whole thing in water and you could still, you know, it's supposed to be able to get it to light up. And then this is sissy rope. So I'm going to open this up a little bit, make it real fibrous. We're going to make a little bird's nest here, guys. So a little bird's nest that we can catch on fire. So actually finding a bird's nest, if you're out in the wild, would be a good fire starting tinder bundle material. So we're going to make this fibrous. Break it down, get it all. We're going to spread this Blackbeard fire starter stuff out as well. Make this as fibrous as we can as well. So we're going to put that down like so. And then we are going to, I got some kind of little tiny fat wood shavings in here. We'll put some of these down here too, just in case, you know, just to help out. And we're going to see if we can't get ourselves a little fire going. So again, what's cool is I've been kind of striking around with this, like, see that sparks flying off. This is replaceable, which is a very nice thing. So let's put this down right here. Kind of go a little slow at first, trying to scrape some of this ferro rod material off onto the our other fire making material, just to help it. Boom, there you go. Almost got a. Come on, baby. So it's almost getting there. So it is a little bit tricky with a small ferro rod like this. You definitely got to have some. Come on, baby. There we go. Come on. Oh. There we go. Bam. So I had to get a little bit more of the ferrocenium rod kind of shavings onto there, and then once those caught, boom, it popped everything else off. So there you go. You can actually make a fire with the little fire rod here. It's going to take a little bit more work to do it. Yeah, it will. Mostly because it's a smaller tool, a little smaller ferrocenium rod. So you do got to be aware of that. Obviously, if you're using a larger fire rod, it would definitely probably strike up a little bit faster. But in the event of an emergency, you're lost and you had to use the fire rod, you could. Excellent. So we know that we can start a fire with it like it's advertised. Cool. Now I got to put this out, so we're going to smother it, guys. And so what's nice is that Blackbeard fire starter, the stuff will burn for a while, so that would allow you time to put a lot of your other stuff on there and you know, really get your fire going. You know what I mean? So let's put that down there in the wet dirt. There we go. Cool. So is the ROXON multi-tool spark, the ROXON SPARK multi-tool, can it spark? Yeah, it can, for sure. Would it be like my absolute number one, hey, this is my go-to fire starter? No, I would say no. It does work. It's just going to take you a little bit longer, so you got to be a little bit more patient. So be aware of that. If you're using something like, obviously if you get out like a uber leaving big fire starter like this, you can definitely start a fire a little bit faster, because you're able to, you know, put out, you know, bigger sparks. You know, look at these big old giant sparks coming off this thing. But it's you know, at the end of the day, it's kind of a size thing, right? So you may have ran off and forgot your fire starting kit at home, and this is what you had on you. So can you start a fire with it in an emergency? Yes. This would definitely be my backup fire starting tool. I would utilize, obviously you want to get a fire started fast, use a lighter, matches, then go to your fire rods and things like that. And then this would be like your, okay, I lost all that. This is what I got left. Okay, I know I can at least start a fire with it because I've been able to do it, right? So keep that in mind. So, but it is a very functional multi-tool without a lot of excess stuff. And that's one of the things I've come to like about some of the multi-tools that I've been testing out lately is they're starting to knock a lot of the excess tools off of them that you don't necessarily need, and kind of just leaving stuff that most people do use and need. And like I said, the things that are on here are good for camping, hiking, things like that. You know, a lot of people for making repairs to their equipment, the little Phillips screwdriver, the bottle opener, can opener, emergency can opening. You got a very functional saw and a very functional blade, pliers, and a backup fire starter. I mean, those are all kind of really good tools to have in those type of situations. And I like that all of the tool options lock into place. They're easy to open and close. And it's just an overall very, very well done package, guys. So if you're looking for like a good backup camping tool system, this might be worth looking at for sure. And the fact that you can replace the whistle / fire rod if you lose it or use it up, that's a nice feature as well. Like I said, a lot of times you get things like that and you can't find replacement parts for it, and yet ROXON does have these available on their website. So if you guys are looking for a good kind of camping, hiking multi-tool or something like that, or this would even be good for, like, you know, if you got kids that are in Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, things like that, or you know, you go camping a lot with your kids. I mean, this would be a great like multi-tool for your kids as well. You have a functional blade that doesn't have a super cute tip, so a little bit less likely to possibly stab themselves. Not impossible, but you know, it would help maybe not be as, you know, but always teach your kids blade safety, everybody. But you got a nice blade, nice saw. Again, very, very well made tool. All right, everybody, that's the ROXON SPARK. Make sure you go check that out. Make sure you're checking out both of my channels, Straight Edge Knives and Straight Edge Lights and Gear. And stay tuned, because I'm going to have a lot more reviews coming on knives, lights, gear. Man, whatever cool stuff I can find to show you guys, we're going to show it. All right, everybody, stay safe, stay sharp, stay bright. Carry on.